Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 when I post videos to this channel, and I know it's been a while and I apologize for that, but hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Please enjoy this digital confection I found for you on the internet. Today I'd like to, talk about my experience with a company that I'd done business with recently, and it's not so much a rant as, a reporting of the facts is the way I'd like to keep this, and then you can decide at the end how you feel about MFactory and whether or not you want to do business with them in the future. Personally, I've decided I'm never doing business with MFactory again, and perhaps by the end of this video you'll agree with me. We'll see. What I'm speaking about in particular is a limited slip differential that I purchased from MFactory to install into my 2000 Integra Type R. Now, recently I had installed an MFactory limited slip differential and my youngest son's 2001 Acura Integra GSR, and I noticed a big difference between the open differential that was in it initially and the new limited slip that I put into it from MFactory. Yes, my Integra Type R did come with a limited slip from the factory, but I was starting to have a few issues with it. I had an issue once with it and it gave me pause, and I was going around my roundabout and it made a noise and I lost power. And that went away, and that happened months and months ago, but it only happened once, and my suspicion was that it had something to do with the limited slip differential. The type of limited slip differential that it is, once it gets worn out, it's worn out. It needs to be replaced. And I was replacing the clutch in the Type R anyway. I figured, hey, why don't I put a new limited slip in there while I'm there and make a video about it, which I'll post down in the description. Well, the MFactory differential did not end up going into my Type R, and the reason for that is, and this is the craziest thing, I've never run across this before, as I was installing the ring gear on that differential, I had all the bearings and everything pressed on, had the speedo gear pressed on, all that stuff was ready to go. I went to put the ring gear on, which are all left-handed threads, by the way. I threaded everything in by hand, and then I was going to run them down with my impact, and I got partway down with one of the bolts and it stopped. And I'm like, I know I didn't cross-thread that thing. So I pulled the bolt back out, and lo and behold, one of the holes was not completely machined with threads all the way through. Like, no threads at all on the bottom part of it. So there was no way whatsoever I was going to be able to fix this. In addition, I mentioned they were left-hand threads, right? So try to find a left-handed thread tap, 10 by 1. It's not easy. It's not impossible, but it's also not easy. In fact, some of my viewers, some of my social media followers actually sent me links to where I could find one, and I picked one up on Amazon, both a tap and a die. But that was not something I can do in that day. That was something I had to order, had to wait for it to be shipped out and all that kind of thing. But aside from all that, this is an $800 limited slip differential. And here it is with a hole that is clearly not machined, that has the threads to accept the bolt. There was just no doubt about it. That thing was, it didn't pass quality control. And it comes with a little card that tells you where it was made and also when it was made. And it looked to me that it was made, December 23rd, which is only a couple of days before Christmas. And I don't remember, it was 2022 or whatever it was. Point is, a couple of days before Christmas, here I am with a quality control issue on this differential. I'm not happy. I reach out to the company that I purchased it from, which was not MFactory, it was another company, and they were awesome. And I can't remember their name right now. JHP USA might have been. Anyhow, I put their name up on the screen and they were amazing, but they didn't handle the warranty claim that was on the MFactory differential. So they acted as sort of a liaison, a go-between. So I sent them an email, which they forwarded on to MFactory, which turns out to be Syncrotech Transmission out in California. So I think MFactory has Syncrotech Transmission manufacturing their parts here in the US to be distributed within the US. That's just what I think. Don't know for sure. But anyway, obviously a quality control issue, and I took pictures, which you are looking at now, and I sent them to MFactory for them to review and everything else. And I'm going to put the response I got back in the email up on the screen, which you can pause and read through. But the general gist of it is you shouldn't have cross-threaded it. You shouldn't have done that. In other words, they blame me for this problem. And I'm like, hold on a minute. And I'll put my responses up here on the screen as well, so that you can see the email exchange that I had with them. And you can see that I was trying to be, straight up, hey, this is how it is. This really was a defect on your part. So they finally relented and had me ship the differential, not this differential, they had me ship a differential back to them so that they could inspect it and then assess whether or not it was going to be a warranty claim or not. So I figured, okay, I had to drop $77 on shipping that differential back to them, which, was a pretty big chunk. And by the way, that was more than a month ago, and I still haven't heard anything about that money. So in addition to being out the money, initially out the money for the differential, I'm also out $77 in shipping. I had to reach out to them and say, hey, what's the deal? And they finally said, all right, we're going to send you a new differential. No apology, No, nothing, just like, we're gonna send you a new differential. And they sent me a new differential, but it was for a K series and not a B series. So they sent me the incorrect differential. So on top of all this, time is being wasted. And I mean, I had this car apart for a month, maybe 6 weeks because of all this garbage. They sent me out the K series differential, which I promptly, I asked them, I said, okay, well, I have this K series differential. And they sent me an email before it arrived saying, oh, by the way, I screwed up. I sent you the wrong differential for a K series, not a B series. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. What do you want me to do? Well, here, I'm gonna send you a shipping label so you can send it back. And the reason for my pause there is, why the heck couldn't they do that with my initial differential before I had to pay $77 in shipping that one back to them? Why? Well, it was no problem for them to ship their own differential back to them, and a couple of days later, I got this guy in the mail, which I then inspected and did discover that all the holes are properly machined on the inside of it, and it can be installed into my Integra Type R. But this time I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. Well, before I go any further, I want to talk about, well, the warranty on this MFactory differential. And one of the things that it says in this warranty is that you need to inspect the part before installation for any defects. And I think that's how they're covering themselves. So any recourse that I would have would be a result of my failure to inspect the part for those missing threads before installing the bolt and possibly ruining it and all that kind of stuff. So again, they're throwing it back in my face. And I am not happy about that part at all. I'm getting blamed for it. I'm paying shipping to ship the defective part back to them. It's almost 2 months later and I still don't have any compensation or reimbursement for that shipping that I made to send this off to them. Now, this story actually does have a happy ending, and it will have a happy ending possibly for you as well. Well, I've been posting about this on social media the entire time I'm going through this, and one of my followers reached out to WaveTrack, and that's these guys right here. WaveTrack reached out to them and said, hey, you should help Eric the Car Guy out. And I got in touch with them and talked to the people at WaveTrack. And then I discovered, well, in my opinion, this WaveTrack differential, yeah, it's more expensive by about $100 in the MFactory, but it's also one of the best dang differentials you could possibly get, in my opinion. And I'll post links to this stuff down in the description. I really like the Type R. I'm trying to restore it. I'm trying to make it, a nice car. So having an upgrade like a new WaveTrack limited slip differential, well, that's a bonus in my mind. So thank you, viewers, for looking out for me and getting me in touch with WaveTrack, because all of my experiences with WaveTrack, the fact that they sent me a differential and all that kind of stuff, but just the lack of BS through all of it was great. And it was a product that worked. I was able to install it, and it's in the car, and it works freaking fantastic. Now, after all of that, I still have this limited slip differential for a B series in my hands from MFactory. And I thought, well, I'll keep this on the shelf or whatever, maybe use it down the road. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not ever going to use anything from MFactory again, because I feel like I've been pretty much screwed over. This is an $800 differential, and they basically treated me like dirt, and that's not cool. And I didn't go in there, hey, I'm Eric the Car Guy, all this other stuff. If you were a customer and this happened to you, well, you'd be kind of screwed, and I'd feel sorry for you. And that's one of the reasons I'm making this video. I'm making this video to clue you into the fact that if you're buying something from MFactory and you have a warranty issue, well, good luck getting it solved. That's all I have to say, is good luck getting it solved. So MFactory may make a great product, well, when they actually finish machining it, but their customer service is lacking big time, in my view. Like, if you're going to treat your customer like this and basically make them the problem when it was your problem, and not even apologize for the issue at hand and the time that I spent. I missed taking the Type R to H-Day because of this. I was supposed to drive the Type R to H-Day and show it off at the JDI booth, but luckily they got in touch with a guy who happened to be named John, who happened to own a DeLorean with a K-swap, a turbo K-swap in it. So my place at JDI was taken by a really good replacement. That was a really cool car. Aside from all that, what's going to be the fate of this differential now that I've told you the story, this MFactory thing that I am not going to use anymore? Well, I thought about this. I benefited from you viewers putting me in touch with WaveTrack, and now I have what I feel is a better differential in my Type R than I was going to put in there to begin with. So in my view, even though I missed H-Day and all that kind of stuff, it still ended up great. I still ended up with a differential that I really enjoy. So I figured I'd pass that along to you, since it was you, the viewers and social media followers, that put me in this position. If you have have a B series build or a B series transmission or something like that, manual transmission is what you're going to need. Here is the part number for it. If you have this vehicle and you can use this limited slip differential, I'm just going to send it to you. You're going to have to send me an email at eric@ericthecarguy.com. Show me pictures of your build. Show me that you actually have the vehicle and that you're not just going to turn around and sell this thing on eBay, that you're actually going to use it in a vehicle, and I will send it to you. So that way we can have a happy ending to all this. Even though I had this horrible experience with MFactory, I had a great experience with WaveTrack, and now I have a good limited slip in my Type R. And you've been warned as far as doing business with MFactory. That's my story. That's my quote-unquote rant. And I hope you don't suffer the same fate if dealing with any company. I'm really disappointed in the fact that they couldn't step up with customer service. We all make mistakes. We all, find ourselves in places where we fall short of expectations in business. But whenever that happens with me, I work to correct it because I want to keep that customer. MFactory, they didn't seem to care at all. They still don't seem to care. I'm still out $77 for sending in that other differential. Anyhow, I'll put links in the description to WaveTrack, which I strongly recommend you check out because, like I said, it's a better differential anyway. It costs more, but it's a better differential. Thank you so much for watching today. Please like, comment, share, all that kind of stuff. It's good to see you again. I will be posting more ETCG1 videos. I'm not sure when. I'm kind of relaxed these days and I enjoy that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today and your time. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Enjoy the new outro sound. That is the Type R. It's fantastic. Check it out.